Yes, ma'am? Yeah, let me turn the mics on. I gotta kill off the nets. Mic check, testing, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, test, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mic check, testing. What's that? I don't know if they're dialed in.
Look at our economy. Look at what it's doing. We've cut back on regulations. We've addressed issues like Chris Carr talked about, the opioid epidemic, which I've been intricately involved in, something that we need to do. Prescription drug pricing, all of the things that are important to you, we are addressing. We have been the party of results, not the party of resistance, not the party of rhetoric. We cannot let the socialists take over. We have to maintain. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask, any veterans or active military, will you raise your hand? Thank you for your service to our country. Thank you. It is because of you that we have the freedoms we enjoy, and that includes the freedom to vote. Ladies and gentlemen, we need you to get out. We need you to get your friends, your family out and vote. We have to maintain the majority. For the past 4 years, I've had the honor and privilege of working with a great junior senator from the state of Georgia who has been one of the strongest advocates, one of the strongest supporters of our president. He's here with us tonight. Join me, if you will, in welcoming Senator David Perdue.
Thank you, buddy. Wow. Welcome. Hello, Savannah. Hey, I got a treat for you tonight. The Vice President of the United States is in the house, y'all. My job is to get this show on the road, but I got some good news for you first. Today is November the 1st, 2018, and Hillary Rodham Clinton is not President of the United States. But y'all, we got to do it again. These billionaires from California and New York think they can come down here and steal our governor's office. It's not going to happen. They believe, is it going to be mob rule, majority rule? Is it going to be socialism? Is it going to be democracy? Guys, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to win this race because of you. It's my job to get this thing going. I'm not going to do any other talking. What we're going to do is bring Jeff Duncan, the next Lieutenant Governor of the state of Georgia, on here.
Thank you, Senator Perdue, and thanks for what you're doing for us. Thanks for all the hard work up there in Washington and representing us. You know what? I know you all have been waiting a long time, but I got to tell you something. I've spent all day with the Vice President and with Brian Kemp, and you're going to be glad you waited. This is going to be quite an afternoon, quite an evening. Look, tell me this. Did anybody read the paper this morning that Oprah Winfrey and Barack Obama were coming to campaign for I just wanted to make sure y'all got that information down here. Well, I'm pretty proud of who we brought down to Georgia the next couple days. Vice President Pence and Donald J. Trump. Well, here's the deal. We're running against Democrats from 49 other states. They've decided to pick on Georgia. They've decided to bring all their reinforcements and all their money here to Georgia. And here's why. They want to import their values here. And with their values comes their problems. And you know what? It may not be fair that 49 other states are trying to run against us, but you know what? We're still going to win. We're still going to win. It's too important for us not to win. It's too important for us to just lay down. Now look, I'm assuming if you're here, you're going to vote for us. If you're not voting for us, could you raise your hand? We've got some folks that are going to come talk to you for a minute. Look, here's the deal. We've got 3.7% unemployment here in Georgia. We're fully funding K through 12 education. And for the first time ever, every single taxpayer in the state of Georgia, even Democrats, got a tax cut. Why would we ever change direction? Who wants lower taxes? Who wants smaller government? Who wants quality education? Who wants the support of the Second Amendment? And help me welcome the next governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp.
So much for sticking it out with us tonight. We've been out there on the road chopping some wood. It's great to see so many friends and supporters that have been working so hard for us all over this state. Y'all are hard-working Georgians, and we appreciate you, and I thank you for being here. I thank you for working so hard to help us get the vote out and standing up and fighting for Georgia's future. That is what this is about. And I want to thank my wife, Marty. Always got to make sure I'm pointing the right side there. Amy Porter, Jarrett, and Lucy. I know that you all are as proud of them as I am for how hard they have worked, how hard they represent our family, our values, and our state. They're going to make you a great first family. And I also want to thank President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence for their unwavering support in this campaign. This tour across our whole state today with Vice President Pence has been inspiring for both of us. And it's going to make a difference for us at the ballot box. And I'll tell you something else. We're looking forward to welcoming Donald J. Trump, our president, to Macon, Georgia on Sunday afternoon for a huge event. The Vice President was just telling me, he was on the phone with the President a little while ago, and he was asking specifically about this race and how's it going. I told him it's going great, that our people were fired up and they were working hard. But I want to tell you just something else on behalf of all of our citizens in our great state. I want to thank our President and our Vice President and our Secretary of Agriculture, our former Governor Sonny Perdue, and our current Governor Nathan Deal, and our Agricultural Commissioner, Gary Black, for the great response that they have had for our friends and our neighbors in southwest Georgia after the hurricane. As you all know, South Georgia was devastated in that storm, especially southwest Georgia. But when I went down and toured that a couple of times, I have never been prouder to be a Georgian than to see the response at the federal, state, and the local level and from our local communities to help those citizens in a time of need. It gave me great confidence in our federal government and our president and vice president and our local leaders and statewide elected leaders and the people that are serving our state and this country. We are going to rebuild southwest Georgia and South Georgia, and it's going to be better than it ever was before. And I just want to personally thank the President and the Vice President for their strong response and their continued support, because it wasn't just for the last 2 weeks. It's going to be as we move forward, because they know how devastating it is, and so do we, and we will continue to work together to bring that part of our great state back. But as you all know, this race is a battle for the soul of our state. It is literally a fight for our future. And my opponent has run the most dishonest campaign that Georgians have ever seen. But there is a reason for that, because she's having to lie about me to hide her extreme agenda. She wants higher taxes. She wants bigger government, and she wants a radical government takeover of health care. And those are her so-called moderate positions. She also wants taxpayer benefits, welfare, and free college for those that are here illegally. That will bankrupt the system. Not even California is that liberal. She's even been out asking those that are here illegally to vote for and be part of the blue wave. Thankfully, with your vote and your support, we can end this craziness. And as governor, I will invest in public education and give our teachers a hard-earned pay raise. We will cut taxes and lower health care premiums. We will fight to protect the Hope Scholarship, not give it to those that are here illegally. And as Jeff Duncan and I know, the fathers, both of us, of 3 children each, we know and we will work to protect our children in their classroom. But make no mistake, the battle for the soul of our state that we have, you can rest assured that we will stand up and fight like we have been fighting for our conservative values, including the Second Amendment. Amen. But we cannot do this alone. We need your help. This is the final push. This is the fourth quarter. I need y'all to hunker down like the Dogs did in Jacksonville last Saturday. I know many of you have voted. If you haven't, you must have a superstition that you got to vote on Election Day, and that's all right. But if you have voted, help us. Fight for us over the next 5 days. Go out and get 10 other people to do the same. Talk to your friends and neighbors. It matters. It matters because we are in a fight. We are not tired of winning. I have a funny feeling that the vice president may say that, and I think the president may say that on Sunday. But we need you to hunker down and keep on chopping. We need you to give it everything you got, because we are. This family will. This whole ticket that we've been on a statewide bus tour will. And we'll make you proud. I promise you we will work hard. But to help us win this Tuesday, it's my honor to introduce a man who I've grown to deeply respect. He's just like a neighbor to us. I mean, when you talk to him, he's literally like talking to your neighbor. He's a father. He's a man of faith. He's a man of principle. He cares about our state. We were coming over the bridge. He's talking about, that's the port over there. And I was explaining to him about downtown Savannah, the tourism industry, and how much we respect people that work in hospitality and agriculture. But he's also a conservative like we are, and he's unapologetic about it. And he's a man of faith, and he's standing on a rock for our country right now along with our president, and he's standing with us. And I'm proud to introduce our Vice President and a great friend of the Peach State, Mike Pence.
She stood in the street, smiling from my head to her feet. I said, hey, now, what is this? Now, baby, maybe she's in need of a kiss. I said, hey, what's your name, baby? Maybe we can see things the same. Now, don't you hate, oh, hesitate. Let's move before they raise the fucking rate. Ow! All right now, baby, it's all right now. All right now, baby, it's all right.
Hello, Georgia. It is great to be back in the Peach State. Just 5 days away from a great victory all across the state of Georgia and all across the United States of America. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for your patience today. Brian and I had to make a quick stop at Chick-fil-A, but we're here. And I'm here for one reason and one reason only. Georgia and America need Brian Kemp to be the next governor of the great state of Georgia. I don't know if you knew, but tomorrow's actually Brian Kemp's birthday. And I asked him what he wanted for his birthday. And he said without hesitation, he said, Mike, I want 4 more years of strong Republican leadership at the State House in Georgia. And speaking of strong Republican leadership, let me bring greetings from a friend of mine. He's on his way to Missouri as we speak. He called me on the plane on the way here. I told him I was headed to Savannah, and he just wanted me to be sure to say, thank you for your support, Georgia. I bring greetings from the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump. Isn't he something? I'll tell you. I'll tell you. You know, it's the greatest honor of my life to be vice president to a president that gets up every day and fights to keep the promises that he made to the people of Georgia and the people of America. And President Donald Trump has been delivering results for Georgia and results for America. But we're just getting started. I mean, think about it. Just in the last few weeks, new jobs report comes out, 4.2 million new jobs created in the last 2 years, and unemployment is at a 50-year low. And African American and Hispanic American unemployment has never been this low in American history.
And we just struck the largest trade deal in the history of the United States of America. And I'll tell you, the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement finally puts American jobs, American workers, and American farmers first. And with the strong support of your two great senators from the state of Georgia, Senator David Perdue, who's with us today, Senator Johnny Isakson, we just saw Justice Brett Kavanaugh confirmed to the Supreme Court of the United States. Wow. You know, I think there's only one way you can describe the last 2 years. Well, there might be two ways. Awesome. It's been 2 years of action. It's been 2 years of results. It's been 2 years of promises made and promises kept, but we're just getting started, Georgia. That's why we need Brian Kemp in the State House, in the state of Georgia. I mean, really and truly, the progress that you've made here with Republican leadership has been nothing short of astounding. And there's some great Georgians who are with us today. I already mentioned him, but I don't know if he got enough applause. Senator David Perdue has been a great champion for this president and this administration and the people of Georgia. And how about a round of applause? He's not here, but I think Governor Nathan Deal has done a great job for 8 years to keep Georgia growing. And I want to thank some great friends of this president, some great friends of mine, Congressman Rick Allen and Congressman Jody Hice, who are with us here today. Great, great partners. And how about a round of applause for the next Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Georgia, Jeff Duncan, is with us today. I mean, these are all great leaders. From the national level to the state level, people that have been making a difference, helping to create this incredible momentum that's in the Georgian economy. I mean, Republican leadership has basically resulted in Georgia being ranked for the last 5 years in a row as the best state in America to do business. Georgia is home to some of the world's greatest companies like Delta Airlines, Home Depot, Coca-Cola, Chick-fil-A. But to keep it going, to keep Georgia growing, we got to keep chopping. We got to elect Brian Kemp to be the next governor of the state of Georgia. Sure. And keep chopping. I just love this guy. I love this family. In fact, I'll tell you what, how about a big round of applause, not just for Brian Kemp, but for the future first family of the state of Georgia, his wonderful wife Marty and Jarrett and Lucy and Amy. Let's hear it for the wonderful Kemp family. Well, since he interrupted me, let me try it again. I think we did all a round of applause for the next first family of the state of Georgia, Marty Kemp, Jarrett, and Lucy and Amy. What a great family. You know, Frank, I'd be out here campaigning for Brian Kemp if he was unopposed. Because he's just that good of a man. A man whose faith, family, and Georgia will always come first, and he lives it every single day. And he's got a great story. Brian Kemp is a small businessman. He started a business with nothing more than a pickup truck and a shovel. That's pretty impressive. He went on to create hundreds of jobs here in Georgia. He's answered the call to public service, served in the state Senate, and as your Secretary of State, he's made Georgia's government more effective, more accountable, all the while saving taxpayers millions of dollars. That's the kind of results, and that's the kind of leadership Georgia deserves in the governor's office. I mean, Brian Kemp is he's going to result in a stronger economy. He's going to result in a safer Georgia. In fact, he's going to be able to do for Georgia what this president and this administration, with your support, have been delivering for the American people over the last 2 years. I mean, think about it. And it's just the same agenda that Brian Kemp is going to advance when he becomes governor of Georgia. I mean, right now, thanks to the support of your conservative Republicans in Congress, this president has signed more bills rolling back federal red tape than any president in American history. Unbelievable. We've unleashed American energy as never before. We got America out of the Paris Climate Accord, and now we're exporting American energy all over the world at record levels. We got those new and better and what the president calls reciprocal trade deals. We got one here with our neighbors. We got one with South Korea. We're already negotiating with the European Union, with Japan, for free trade agreements. And this president and this administration put China on notice. The era of massive trade deficits with China is over. And with the strong support of leaders here at the state level like Brian and your delegation in Congress, President Donald Trump did it just before Christmas. He signed the largest tax cut and tax reform in American history. He cut taxes for working families. He cut taxes for businesses here in Georgia, and we cut out the core of Obamacare. The individual mandate is gone. And the results have been amazing. Not just the 4.2 million jobs, but the way this economy is growing has just been incredible, hasn't it been? I mean, literally since almost the morning after Election Day. Confidence is back. Jobs are coming back. In a word, America is back. But we're just getting started, Georgia. That's why we need Brian Kemp in the governor's office to keep Georgia and keep America growing strong. But you know, the other reason I'm here is because, not just because Brian Kemp's going to bring the kind of leadership to create and continue the momentum in Georgia's economy, like we've been able to do at the national level, but because Brian Kemp is someone who understands that everything begins with our national security. And I couldn't be more proud. I couldn't be more proud to serve alongside a president who signed the largest increase in our national defense since the days of Ronald Reagan. We're rebuilding our military. We're restoring the arsenal of democracy. We're also taking care of our veterans as never before. All new accountability at the VA. And with the strong support of Republican leaders here in Georgia, like your senators, your congressmen, and Brian, I'll tell you, we're finally giving our veterans access to the world-class, real-time health care that you earned in the uniform of the United States of America. Veterans' choice is here. So we've been standing for our national security. We've been standing with our veterans, and this president, just like Brian, is also going to continue to stand without apology for all the God-given liberties enshrined in the Constitution of the United States of America, like the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, and the right to keep and bear arms enshrined in the Second Amendment. And just like President Trump and this administration, when he becomes governor, Brian Kemp is going to stand without apology for the sanctity of human life. So we've been standing with our military, we've been standing with our veterans, all the things that Brian supports. We've been standing on those principles enshrined in the Constitution. When Brian Kemp becomes governor, he's going to do just like President Trump and I have done. He's going to stand without apology with the men and women who serve on the thin blue line of law enforcement at every level. He'll do it. You know, our hearts still ache for our fellow Americans in the Jewish community in Pittsburgh. Tree of Life Synagogue, a horrific attack cost 11 lives in that synagogue. 6 others were injured, including 4 members of the law enforcement community. You know, the efforts of those men and women in uniform that day was heroic. They ran into danger without regard to their personal safety, and those law enforcement officers in Pittsburgh saved lives. They did. But as the President and I have made clear, this attack was not just criminal, it was evil. And I promise you that justice in this case will be swift and severe. We will not allow violence or anti-Semitism to take hold in the United States of America. Not now, not ever. In the days ahead, we'll work closely. We'll work closely with Brian and other leaders here in Georgia to bring these senseless acts of violence to an end, protect our families, protect our communities, and also we'll work, as President Trump has challenged us, to rise above the hate, to move past the divisions, and to embrace our common destiny as Americans. And we will do it standing shoulder to shoulder with the courageous men and women of law enforcement. You know, I'm proud to report to you, with our renewed commitment to law enforcement at every level, we've been removing dangerous criminals and gang members off of our streets in record numbers. We've been making our streets safer, and we've been securing our borders and enforcing our laws, and we've already started to build that wall. Yeah. What Brian Kemp knows, what President Trump knows and spoke about again today, is we've got a crisis of illegal immigration in this country. It's maybe never been more obvious to millions of Americans than in the last few weeks when a migrant caravan's been making its way north from Central America. Now in Mexico, thousands of people, organized by leftist groups in Honduras and human traffickers, organizations that and individuals have no regard for human life, take advantage of elderly, vulnerable families, families with young children, and entice them to take the long and dangerous journey north, over 1,000 miles and more, to come into our country illegally. You know, the President has made it clear, this is nothing short of an assault on our country, and we will not allow it. And I want to say to all of you, just know these caravans are being driven by human traffickers and leftist groups that are taking advantage of loopholes in our law to entice vulnerable families to take that long and dangerous journey. But these caravans are also being driven by the dangerous policies of the Democratic Party at the national level. It's true. Think about it. Think about it. They don't want to build a wall. They don't want to secure our borders. They don't want to close the immigration loopholes that these human traffickers use to talk people into making that long and dangerous trip. And frankly, many of the leading voices in the Democratic Party today actually call for abolishing immigrations and customs enforcement altogether. Well, let me make you a promise. With Brian Kemp as the governor of Georgia and President Donald Trump in the White House, we will never abolish ICE. We will support those men and women in law enforcement. Now, I got to tell you, I know that Brian's opponent, Stacey Abrams, has talked about the good men and women of ICE. She actually said that law enforcement officers who work with ICE are, in her words, quote, terrorizing families. Which is really no surprise because Stacey Abrams wants illegal immigrants to get taxpayer-funded benefits. In fact, I read on the way here that Stacey Abrams actually said that the blue wave coming to Georgia would include those who are, and I quote, documented and undocumented. Well, let me tell you something. If that's the blue wave coming to Georgia, it's going to hit a red, white, and blue wall in this great state and all across America. Men and women, we've got a crisis on our southern border. We've got a crisis in illegal immigration, but I'll make you a promise. You elect this good man as your governor. You re-elect these great delegations in Congress. With President Donald Trump in the White House, we'll build that wall. We'll secure our border. We'll close the loopholes in our laws, and we'll fix this broken immigration system once and for all. We will. I promise you. So you got an incredible candidate, an incredible family. And we've made incredible progress as Americans in just the last 2 years with the very same policies that Brian Kemp's going to advance to keep Georgia growing strong. So now it comes down to a choice. And the truth is, folks, in 5 days, the people of Georgia are going to make a choice. People all across America are going to make a choice. I mean, it's going to be a choice between a proven, common sense, conservative leader in Brian Kemp or the failed liberal resistance agenda of Stacey Abrams. I mean, Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp couldn't be farther apart on all the issues that matter most to the people of Georgia. Brian Kemp's going to cut your taxes after he becomes governor. Stacey Abrams promised to raise your taxes by more than $300 million. Brian Kemp's going to cut regulations and get government off your back. Stacey Abrams promises to grow the size of state government in Georgia, all the way from, in her words, cradle to career. Brian Kemp is going to fight for Georgia's farmers, ranchers, and producers proudly. Stacey Abrams actually said, and I quote, people shouldn't have to go into agriculture to make a living in Georgia. Well, Georgia deserves a governor who will support the men and women who want to go into agriculture and make a living. We're proud of our farmers, our ranchers, and all of our producers. And the truth is, while Brian Kemp has been energizing people just like you all across the state of Georgia, I've seen it all day today. This is our third stop. Fourth if you count Chick-fil-A. He's been inspiring hardworking people all across this state. We all know that Stacey Abrams' campaign and being bankrolled by Hollywood liberals. In fact, I heard there's a few that have been through here lately. I heard Oprah Winfrey's in town today. And Will Ferrell I saw going door to door not too long ago. Well, I've been saying it all day. I'd like to remind Stacey and Oprah and Will Ferrell, I'm kind of a big deal too. And I got a message for all Stacey Abrams liberal friends coming to Georgia. This ain't Hollywood. This is Georgia. And Georgia deserves a governor who will fight every day for Georgia values and put Georgia first. That's Brian Kemp. That's Brian Kemp. So now I've got to leave you with a charge tonight, because there's still time left in the day today for you to go do some work on this campaign. And I've got a plane to catch. The President and I are traveling all over the country. In fact, he's going to be in Macon, Georgia, come this Sunday. standing with Brian Kemp. Well, we got 5 days, folks. We got 5 days before those polls close. So I want to challenge you to do 3 things, okay, if you're taking notes. Number 1, if you haven't done it already, I want you to decide right here, right now, before the polls close on November 6th, that you are going to vote Georgia, and you're going to vote to make Brian Kemp the next governor of this great state. Let's get it done. And remember, friends don't let friends vote alone. Grab a family member, grab a neighbor, somebody at work, at worship this weekend, and just tell them that, you know, these elections are won by the people that show up, right? I mean, the truth of the matter is, these first midterm elections for the party that's in the White House have been a challenge historically. It's been true for the Republican Party in every first midterm election that we've been in the White House for 100 years except 2. You know? I mean, the conventional wisdom says it's going to be tough to post a victory on November 6th, but I think we all know what President Trump thinks of conventional wisdom. We made history in 2016, and we're going to make history again in 2018 when we elect Brian Kemp and re-elect Republican majorities on Capitol Hill. But it's going to take all of us to do it. So you got to get out and do it. And the second thing I need you to do is I need you to go tell somebody. Tell somebody what you heard from Brian tonight. Tell somebody, I was in Savannah the other day, I ran into Mike. And it took that guy like a half hour just to summarize all the reasons why Brian Kemp should be the next governor of Georgia. And all the things that we've been able to do together. I mean, just go tell people what we've done. I mean, tell them what they're not hearing on most of their major cable news networks every day. Am I right? I mean, tell them, here's the thing, I'll give you a little. Tell them we cut their taxes so they can keep more of what they earn. Right? Tell them we're rebuilding our military and restoring the arsenal of democracy again. Tell them America is respected in the world again, and our economy is growing right here in Georgia. I mean, tell them the forgotten men and women of America are forgotten no more. You go tell them, Georgia, because it's the truth. But we got to talk to each other. You know, I'll always believe the most powerful media in this world is, it's not your internet, it's not your cable news, it's not your newspapers, your radio. It's really when someone who knows you and respects you hears from you about a candidate or a cause that they believe is important to the community and to the state and the nation. So go tell somebody. Tell them about the progress we've made and the stakes of this election for the people of Georgia and the people of this country. It really matters that much. And lastly, if you're so inclined, after you've made a commitment to vote with a friend, right, and go tell the story, you know, in these divided times in our country, it seems like people are spending more time talking about what divides us in this nation than any time in my lifetime. Every issue seems immediately divided along partisan lines. But you know, I'll always believe what the president believes and what Brian Kemp believes. But there will always be more that unites us in these United States of America than will ever divide us. And chief among them is faith. I truly do believe that faith resonates throughout this country, faith in one another. Our belief in freedom is first grounded in the belief in the unlimitless potential of every individual to achieve the American dream if they work hard, put their mind to it. And it's that other kind of faith, too. I hear it everywhere I go. I really do. I've heard it all across Georgia today when people just take a minute, grab a hand, and say, I'm praying for you. I mean, this is a nation of faith. And so I encourage you to, if you're inclined to bow the head and bend the knee in the next 5 days, I encourage you to do that. But now on this one, I'm not asking so much for a candidate or a cause or a party or even the outcome of an election. I just think in these two divided of times, I just encourage you to pray for America. Pray for all the people of America. Pray for all the people of this nation, this one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, because prayer matters, and it'll make a difference. I truly believe it. So with that, time's a-wasted. You all got people you can find, and I'm going to let you get to it. But I leave here tonight with a grateful heart. It's my first chance since St. Patrick's Day to be in Savannah. That was a great day. Loved it. I loved it. My first-generation Irish-American mother was unstoppable. And the warmth that we felt in this community, let me just tell you, I just want to say thank you. Not for your hospitality just that day, but thank you for the privilege of serving as your vice president. It's the greatest honor. And I promise you we're going to continue to work our hearts out at the national level to make you proud. But I leave here today with renewed confidence that with Brian Kemp in the governor's office, with a strong Republican team working with him at the state level here in Georgia, with re-elected Republican majorities on Capitol Hill, with President Donald Trump in the White House, and with God's help. If we do all we can, I promise you we're going to make Georgia and America more prosperous than you could possibly imagine. We're going to make Georgia and America safer than ever before. And if we do all we need to do in the next 5 days, to borrow a phrase, I promise you, we will make America great again. Thank you very much. God bless Georgia, and God bless the United States of America. Let's go get it done.